What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to the Ascension. So, I'm getting a little concerned here. People are saying there's going to be famine. Now, they say there's going to be a famine because of all the shit going on in the world. They say that the famine is something that has been planned for some time. Now, if you look into the history of famines, you'd come to realize that a lot of people suffer and a lot of people die. Okay? It's a lot of fighting, a lot of chaos. It's hell. I mean, we've seen it throughout history. We've seen it in the Bible. We've seen it in modern times. But what's it going to look like when there's nobody there to save you? You know? When there's not another country or whatever that can come on in and try to help you out a little bit. You want to know why they're not going to be there? Because they're going to be suffering as well. So, what I'm doing is I'm stocking up. Beans, rice, bags of sugar. Okay? Canned goods. Get the canned goods. Store up about 6 months worth of sustainability. Because you don't want to be going to that damn soup kitchen. You got to try to avoid that. Now, this whole thing's happening because of the situation in the Middle East. There's been a squeeze on that oil, and we're going to start feeling the repercussions of it. Now, what's interesting is there's a couple things that could happen here. For one, a lot of people know that the BRICS currency is something that's been in the works for some time now. Look it up. These folks are trying to kick the U.S. dollar out of their economy. Now, I don't really think that's going to happen, but it could, you know. You got to be prepared if it does. So, what that would look like, and some people say that's why this whole thing's going on right now. It's because of the attempt to try to push off the BRICS currency. That's why the United States military is over there right now. Apparently, they've been trading under wraps outside of the U.S. dollar, their oil, to Big Red Dragon country and other countries all around there for some time. And they're working to get the U.S. dollar out of their markets. Now, you can't really blame them, can you? I mean, I'd probably want that too. But I live in the United States, so I'm not really looking to starve to death here, man. And I don't wish that upon anyone in the world. So they say that they're trying that's the reason that the Navy's over there, is they're trying to harness that energy, trying to keep it on the U.S. dollar, this, that, and the third. That's why we got the South America thing going on in the United States. Trying to harness all that energy and keep other countries using the U.S. dollar. We're seeing that in action right now because if you're looking at the stock market, I look at it every day, it's not going down, it's going up. The U.S. dollar is getting stronger because the world's starting to realize that they can't trade the oil outside the U.S. dollar. No more of this sidewinderish mumbo-jumbo. Right? So they know that if they need the damn energy, they need the dollar. So they're trading their currencies for the dollar, which in hand is devaluing their currencies, but it's pushing up the U.S. dollar because it's in demand. You see what I'm saying? So all the U.S. companies in the S&P 500, they're all going up. Those are U.S. dollar Fortune 500 companies that are primarily established in the United States. All that shit's going up, man. You got to buy and hold. Now, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, the people across the world, I'm sure, are a little concerned. They're watching their currencies get plummeted because that mumbo jumbo of trading oil outside the US dollar is kind of coming to a halt right now. I mean, we got the freaking military there watching these ships go in and out. You see what I'm saying? So it's causing quite a stir, ain't it? Now, what if the other thing happens? What if they do kick the US dollar out of their economies? What if our military leaves? They keep on keeping on. Bigger dragon country and Russia and all that. They get rid of the US dollar. All of a sudden, we have the US dollar and they have electronics and shit. And they're going to say, oh, no, we don't want your dollar. It's worthless to us. So get out of here. That's what they're going to say. And we're going to be stuck in the United States without getting cheap clothing and cheap electronics, because that's kind of what we get imported. Fortunately, now I did the research. The United States is pretty damn self-reliant when it comes to food and energy. Okay? And those are pretty damn important. Yeah, the iPhone, we ain't going to be able to get our new iPhones every year. But the food and energy is important, my man. So at least we have that going on here. When I talk about famine, I speculate the United States is going to get hit the least by it. But it's still going to get hit by it. Okay? Just like the rest of the damn world. You can't squeeze off the oil, 20% of the world's oil supply for who knows how freaking long now, without getting famine. So you got to watch your ass. You got to get ready. You got to prepare. You got to stay awake. That's what we're doing here. Now you might ask, Iceman, okay, keep going. Don't get sidetracked. What happens if they get that BRICS currency established and kick that damn dollar out of their economy? Our military leaves the Middle East and we just call that, and what happens then? Well, all them damn dollars is going to come flooding back to the United States, and that's going to cause hyperinflation. And the rest of the world ain't going to want that damn dollar. So anything that we're reliant on from imports, we're going to be in big trouble. We ain't going to be getting all that shit. Here's what I think could happen. Say they kick their dollars back here. It's about to cause hyperinflation. Somebody's going to have to get behind the wheel there and delete all the dollars coming in. You heard me correctly, boy. Delete those dollars coming in. And then all the dollars that are here are going to maintain some value. I mean, in fact, they might go up in value in a lot of ways, but depending on what you're trying to get with them, it's going to depend on how much you got to spend, because the things that are here, the energy and the food will probably be cheap, but the electronics and shit and the clothing, now what would happen then is the world's not going to want it. They're going to be like, whoa, these boys just deleted all those damn dollars that we kicked back to them. We still don't want their new dollars because then we'll have to turn it into a different currency. Well, the thing is, we'd have to establish that currency. How do you do that? You get a big-ass thriving economy that's self-sustainable to prove to the world that your new currency is going to be backed by that economy. And you have a strong-ass military, because at the end of the day, it's the dog with the bigger stick that kind of gets his way. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a big-ass military. All high-tech and shit. So, yeah, if that happens, man, we're going to have to be self-sustainable for like a decade or something. So it's going to be some rough sailing for a minute there. When they kick the dollar out of the rest of the world, kick it back to the United States, cause hyperinflation almost, but then we delete all them dollars coming in, and bottling the dollars that currently exist. We'll sort of translate them into a different currency name or currency title, different note or whatever. And then be self-sustainable, be self-sufficient, build from the ground up all the shit that we don't make, primarily medicine and electronics. So if you take meds, you might want to get a little bit more. You might want to get as much supply as you're able to get before this shit hits the fan. Okay? So say they delete the dollar. It creates all the dollars that are here in the United States more valuable, but we're going to have to thrive for about 10 years to get the rest of the world backed up and saying they want that dollar again. You know, it might be less than that, depends. So we're going to use the oil to get shit rolling, to get the ball rolling, and then we're going to get on nuclear fusion. Look it up. It's immune to meltdowns. All right, you could have a freaking reactor about the size of my house run in Chicago for like 50 years, okay? Yeah, you know how much oil you need to do that? You need like a freaking ocean filled with oil to do that. But no, you just need a reactor about the size of this damn house to run Chicago for 50 years. So yeah, that's the whole goal here. We're going to get on that nuclear fusion. But anyway, like the video, let me know your thoughts. What's going to happen is with this famine and what's going to happen with the dollar. Are they going to delete them dollars and kick them back? Or is the dollar going to continue getting emboldened? It's emboldened right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think that's going to be the way it's going to go. They're going to keep trading the oil and the dollar. We're going to re-harness the energy in the Middle East, harness the energy in South America. The rest of the world might take a little bit of a brunt. But the U.S. dollar is going to be empowered, and so is the stock market. So keep your eyes out for that. Anyway, let me know in the comments your thoughts. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace be with you.